Thanks for staying tuned to your program, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. Only on this station will bring you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Today we'll bring you some reports, but we'll be having a discussion today to look at why are some people calling for coup. Really, everybody is worried that the situation in the country is quite disturbing, but is there really need for it? Why should people be calling for coup at this time when the whole world is embracing democracy? We'll be discussing with two persons who are quite knowledgeable to give us. One is from the security perspective, the other one is from the social angle, or why we should not accept the call for coup in this country, Nigeria. But that will be after the reports. The first report will be taken is from the Army headquarters, where Shirley Daniels brings us a report of the seminar by the Nigerian Army Department of Military Secretary. Sit back.
In today's fast-paced and competitive world, the importance of career planning and management cannot be overstated. With this in mind, the Nigerian Army Department of Military Secretary organized the 5th edition of the Nigerian Army Headquarters Department of Military Secretary Career Planning and Management Seminar with the theme Efficient Human Resources Management in the 21st Century, imperative for sustaining a professional Nigerian army in a joint environment. The special guest of honor at the occasion, who is the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, in his address, stressed the importance of officers' career planning and management in championing a culture of excellence and professionalism within the Nigerian Army.
Seminars of this nature are important because the officers' corps of any army is crucial to its professional development. The officers' corps constitutes the bedrock of an army's professionalism, and sound administration of the officers' corps is critical to what becomes of any military. Because officers' career planning and management are crucial constituents of sound administration, which, by the way, is one of the pillars of my command philosophy. This seminar has been carefully designed to expose participants to human resource management in an increasingly complex setting like the Nigerian Army.
The Army Chief further spoke on recruitment, drive, personnel administration, and manpower.
You will agree that a lot has changed in the Nigerian Army in the past decade regarding recruitment drive and personnel administration in response to the security dynamics in Nigeria's internal and external environments. The Army has witnessed significant manpower growth in both the officers and rank and file cadres. This growth underscored the need for a more efficient manpower management system and policy adjustments.
He, however, dwelled on the Nigerian Army's commitment to democracy while also commending the military secretary.
It permits me to seize this opportunity to reiterate that the armed forces of Nigeria, particularly the Nigerian Army, has come to terms with the country's choice of democracy as a preferred system of governance. We are therefore agents of democracy and have no desire to truncate it. The Nigerian Army will continue to defend our constitution and not suspend it for whatever reason. It is the duty of our elected leaders to lead while the military does its job as enshrined in our constitution.
The lead lecture was delivered by a former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, retired, which focused on military human resource management in the Nigerian Army, in contemporary complex environment, the role of the officers, and situate on the crucial role of officers and the need to prioritize human resources development and management in the Nigerian Army.
So saving time, I'll go straight, and I will start by saying that from the beginning of time, man had always sought to improve himself and all aspects of his life, environment, and well-being. This quest for improvement, which is continuous, had already taken him to the moon and beyond, as well as many more advancements and breakthroughs in information technology, IT for short, and in almost all fields are now abound. Today, no aspect of human endeavor is left unattended or unimproved. Nations and organizations across the globe keep striving to further improve their efficiency and effectiveness in their functions, duties, and responsibilities. In all these improvements and efforts, however, human capital or human resource remains the most essential, as it is the human that drive all these improvements. Consequently, any nation or organization that seeks advancement and improvement in its functions and activities must prioritize its human resource development and management. The military is a specialized organization with unique roles, duties, and functions. These duties keep becoming even more complex, and to remain atop, the Nigerian Army or the military needs to prioritize its human resource capital, since human is the most important driver of all duties and job accomplishment. Equipment, machines, and other facilities and gadgets can do a lot, and even a lot more today, but all these are only as good or effective as the human beings behind, beside, or inside them.
Earlier in his welcome address, the Military Secretary Army, Major General Ehitayo Oyilola, stated the reason of the seminar.
This seminar, which is an annual event, marks a significant milestone in our commitment to nurturing the professional growth and development of our esteemed officers. The Army Headquarters Department of Military Secretary organizes this seminar in support of its vital role in managing the careers of Nigerian Army officers. It is pertinent to mention that the department relies critically on evaluation and course reports rendered on officers, as well as other occurrences in the career path of each officer for efficient career planning and management.
Shuli Daniels, Security Watch Africa.
Yeah, welcome back. Yes, for time, we have to go quickly to the next report by Lucy Tawo, when the Nigerian police paraded some of the arrested suspects who have committed various kinds of criminality. Sit back as we bring you this report.
He said, "You want me to escort and to go somewhere?" I said, "Where?" He said that this work that a friend introduced to him. I said, "Which type of work?" He said, "Man, no worry, man, just go, because the person where they follow them go, that is not available." I tell him, "Which type of work is this?" He said, "Man, just come. When I reach, I will know the work." They take me, we'll reach Jabi. So when we reach Jabi, we thought we get one lady like that. That lady from church that day. So they carry this lady, ask her how much you have. This woman told them that they have, I'm in front of the motor. He told them that they have 80,000. They collected this money from that woman. When they collected this money and dropped this woman, I told him that I will not do the work, that they should take me back. That's how I dropped. So one of their members give me 10,000 naira.
When they carry me go the work now, if they see a girl, a lady, they will say me enter the motor.
Lady they hear.
So the only lady they carry.
You see her?
The lady they go there in front of the motor. So if they move like this, they go, you go hold and say, okay, come. Waiting, they will carry and come down for the seat, for that floor of the sheet. So where you carry and come, You say how much? You go bring the purse. If any money where they there, you go bring them. So along the line, if you get MTN, you go ask her how much where they there. You go draw 'em.
So your wife, they join you to do the business too?
Nearly once.
But you don't do them?
Yes, sir.
So how much, they see when you do operation like that, how much? Can you tell us the idea of what you always get?
The first day where I follow them go now, 10,000 they give me.
I'm from Karimo, Abuja. I'm doing shifting chair. Yes, sir. When I was commuting the money, I will carry 4 people in back, and plus 1 woman for front to push me, and I will look for 1 person to carry more. In the process that I carry the another person for front. When we go small, and I tell my fellow person that is in front with me, say, I better shift, adjust for me small, let me shift the chair, because they are tight. In the process, then they adjust. That is where the person phone can lose. It's only what I can be able to do. It's only phone that I'm still inside.
So sanitize
When
them.
we carry a passenger, we carry 1 person. 1 person
One house,
in the
please.
front, 4 at the back. So the next person will enter the front car. When they enter the front car, they will now ask you to shift they will adjust the seat to the front. So when the 2 people are sitting on the seat, their leg will be touching the dashboard.
The dashboard.
Then the driver will say you should shift the seat, go back, so that they will be balanced for the seat. So on the way shifting the chair, maybe you will ask the woman, let me help you and hold your back, so that you can shift the chair very well. So on the process, we remove the phone. So that is what we do.
Those were some of the suspects paraded by the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumoyewa Adejobi. These suspects were part of the 254 criminal suspects arrested in the last 2 weeks from different states in Nigeria. Their crimes varies from kidnapping, armed robbery, one chance, gun running, and other sundry activities. While parading them, ACP Adejobi disclosed that the force rescued 35 kidnapped victims, recovered 44 assaulted guns, and 447 ammunition.
In the last 2 weeks, the force has arrested 92 armed robbery suspects, 153 kidnappers, and rescued 35 kidnapped victims, recovered 7 stolen vehicles, arrested 9 suspected cultists, and recovered 44 arms and 477 ammunition of various calibers from other commands and formations across the country.
Suspects who engaged in gun running spoke on their involvement.
I am an engineer welding fabrication.
Engineer?
Welding and fabrication.
Welding and fabrication?
Yes, sir.
How did you get those machines?
It's meant for circular business. That is, you can use it. Most people, when I buy it, to use it to repair block engine, to create a shaft and some other things. We used to even fabricate and install company equipment. That is company.
For how long have you been using them to make guns? For how long have you been using them?
Sir?
For how long have you been using them to make guns?
2019, sir.
2019?
Yes, sir.
Can you remember how many guns you have produced so far from that factory?
It's only 19 pieces, because that is not my work. I used to do my...
But you are aware that they have produced 19 rifles so far?
Yes, sir.
The Force Public Relations Officer used the occasion to reiterate the Nigeria Police Force resolve to ensure security of lives and property of Nigerians.
As we all know, the mandate of securing lives and property of the citizens and ridding the country of criminal elements is core to the Nigerian Police Force. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, take DLMPM, has charged the men of the force to remain resolute in discharging their duties and ensuring all necessary measures or strategies are being implemented for a safer environment for everyone in this country.
Lucy Tawo, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yeah, that was the parade by the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Officer. Kudos to the police officers and the leadership of police for that outstanding successes. Yes, we'll be continue with today's discussion. We are looking at the call for military intervention in governance. Is it necessary? Some Nigerians have been making call that military should intervene because their reasons varies, that the situation in the country is worrying and troubling. But some people have contrary views. Should the military actually be part of governance? This will be discussing with two of our guests who are very knowledgeable. First is Mr. Dennis Amakri. Mr. Dennis Amakri was a former director, deputy director, Department for State Services, and is now a security consultant, doing so well. Former regional manager for the American Society for Industrial Security, our association. Yeah, with him is Chimezie Manyadike, who is a social commentator. We're going to be looking at this issue, this call, this clamor by some people. Is it necessary? Let me begin with you. Let me before we go into discussion, I'm being asked that we should take a little break where we'll show you some of our security tips, after which we'll continue with the discussion. Sit back. Yeah, welcome back. Yes, like I said earlier, we'll be looking at this call for military intervention in governance in Nigeria. Is it necessary? Let me begin with Mr. Amakri. So, from the security perspective, I know that a lot of things have been going wrong in the security in Nigeria. We must admit the fact that a lot of security challenges, and it seems that every day Nigerians are disturbed and worried. Do you think it's actually necessary, this call, sir?
Thank you for having me, Patrick. You know, we have come a full circle where people have been totally disappointed by the political class. And although we've also been able to experience military rule, we've almost had about 13 years of military rule. And that has, of course, influenced a lot of us. We've gone through a civil war. And with all that, the Nigerian, especially the older ones, are not very, very far away from knowing much about the military. But there are a lot of young people, especially the 35 and below age bracket. You know, they've not seen a military coup before. They've not experienced any war. And when you, maybe what they know is about what is happening in the Sahel states of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. But that is far away, so they can read about it and they can see on television. Social media has been able to bring all that very, very close to them. And, you know, with all the kind of, you know, the problems that we're having in the country, military coup actually is an aberration. You know, but when you are faced with hunger, unemployment, poverty, you know, like they said, the mind, you know, is a devil's idle mind. It's a devil's workshop. And of course, you find out that a lot of people would want to find a way out of this quagmire. And if The politicians cannot do it. The Supreme Court cannot do it for them. You know, they start looking at other kinds of possibilities. Some have openly called for revolution. And of course, some have hinted about coups. Although, well, I can give kudos to the military, and the military has been able to inform their people that they have to remain professional.
In fact, I was going to come to that because severally the military hierarchy, from the Chief of Defense Staff to the Chief of Army Staff, has said that Nigerian military will not be part of any governance any longer because they believe, like you said, it's an aberration. But this, like you pointed out, some of the factors that are also agitating are making Nigerians to be worried. Let me go to Anyadike. Really, looking from the social angle, you know, military, will they perform that magic if they come to power, like some people are expecting?
Well, I think that the call for such insinuations for the military taking over is absolutely unnecessary. And I think it smacks of a huge level of ignorance in the land. Of course, there are factors that probably would have necessitated such insinuations or such desires. But I think that it is an absolutely extreme position to take, asking for the Nigeria's security infrastructure to leave their responsibility of providing security and protection to take over governance. It absolutely makes no sense. I think it stems a whole lot from ignorance, because if you look at the demography of those that are clamoring for this thing, for these issues, they are mostly people that never experienced any sort of military rule. They've never experienced any form of military action. They've never seen the military in action before. So they feel it is a very romantic solution to the challenges of the land. But you cannot use a military tactic or strategy to counter economic issues, because our challenges as a nation are largely economic. And because of these fractures in in the economy of the land, you see people trying to delve into criminality. So I think it's an absolutely wrong position to take, and I'm very, very certain that the military has no interest in governance, because saddled with the huge responsibility of security and protection of the territorial integrity of the country, adding governance to it would not be a burden that they would want to place on themselves. Okay. So it's largely the people that never experienced what has happened in the past that are the ones that believe that this is a very romantic solution to the economic challenges of the nation. Yeah. So I don't think the military will provide any solution for that.
Yeah, just as Amakri did say earlier. Yes, let me come back to you, Amakri, because yes, I'm sure that you have been in service when military. Either you joined when the military were in power as governance, really, and you have existed over and survived so many military governance. What does it look like, at least for those who may not know, the younger ones who may not know how this military involvement in governance look like? Can you just give us a glimpse?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I joined the service when the military was ruling. That was the Buhari Idi regime, and I left when Obasanjo was coming in back as a civilian, So I have experienced all of them, and I can tell you that number one, what people should know about this is that it's not saying that the military is our savior, So because I know when military takes over in Nigeria, I've been in government, I've been working in government for so many times that military has taken over. And when military take over, you find out that people actually come out of their houses and dance on the street. Because when the military is coming in, they will tell you all kinds of long lists of what they came to do, the problems with the politicians, the corruptness of the politicians, how they've stolen money. And I remember very well Buhari's regime, where politicians were arrested, and a lot of them were sentenced to 300 years in jail, 200 years in jail, and stuff like that. So it is something that, and many people were hailing it because the politicians were really, really reckless, and that's why I'm trying to caution politicians now, because you see, they feel that they can do anything with reckless abandon, and then of course, military will not come now because there is a general opinion worldwide that military regimes are not welcomed. But they should remember that they have to do what is needful. But at the same time, when the military comes in, one thing also that the people should realize again is that immediately they come in, the first thing they do is to suspend the Constitution.
Exactly. Yeah. No freedom.
They'll suspend the Constitution, and then, of course, ban the legislature, and you find out that only the executive will be running. Now, what does that mean to suspend the Constitution? It means that your rights are gone. It is only the Constitution that guarantees the rights of the individual in society. So if that right has been suspended, then and it is then that you start to hear things like, and many people, the young ones will not know, but when the military was in power, there is a popular saying, with immediate effect, with immediate effect, anything with immediate, build this road with immediate effect, take him to jail with immediate effect, and that immediate effect means that there is no due process.
Yeah, that's true.
There's the rule of law has been suspended. So these are the issues we have to think about.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we are getting signal to end the program because time is not our friend. But really, I think we must continue this next week, because we are not going to take any reports next week so that we can exhaust this particular topic. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you, Mr. Makri, for joining us. I know you are supposed to be sleeping now, but you joined us because of your interest for Nigeria. Thank you so much. And Mr. Yadike, a final word. What will you advise the younger ones as we sign off now?
Well, I would just simply advise that history is always a very good teacher. Experience is always a very good teacher. And like Mr. Dennis said, once the military come in, the first thing is the suspension of the Constitution. You no longer have any rights. You no longer have fundamental human rights, no rights at all. So I would just advise them to relax, calm down, and yes.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll continue this discussion next week. It's a pleasure having you, really. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is the end of the program this week. This week we'll continue with this topic because it's quite exciting. Until next week, we'll say bye for now and remain blessed.